What's going on, everyone? I'm the Imperial 3, and this is my good friend Derpy Boy. If you don't know, he has really good YouTube channel. He does like assorted videos like Fall Guys, Minecraft, and 49ers, stuff like that. And we are doing a collab together, and we're talking about the recent interview with Daisy Ridley and Josh Gad that basically exposed the sequels and Lucasfilm and J.J. Abrams that they had no plan for the sequels. So let's get into it. Josh Gad said he had like questions, and they actually took him backstage for while doing the Rise of Skywalker, and then it spoiled. Well, not spoiled, but it kind of ruined the whole movie for him. And so, but then they were talking about that she basically had no character arc, and then she was gonna be Kenobi's granddaughter.
Yeah. So what I feel like is that the character arc between the characters in the sequel trilogy wasn't really that good, as we saw, like Anakin's character arc between the original 6.
Yeah.
And I feel like that the character arc in the sequel trilogy was just like, it was messy, basically.
Yeah, like because they were gonna have her be Kenobi's granddaughter, because they actually put Kenobi's voice in Force Awakens, like basically foreshadowing and telling us that they would be that she would be Kenobi's granddaughter, but then and then J.J. Abrams was like, no, you're gonna be a no one on Jakku.
And then I thought that she would be Kenobi's granddaughter because she did the mind control trick that Obi-Wan did.
Yeah,
and I thought that was pretty cool because it was a throwback to the original 6.
Yeah.
And then it just went to her being a nobody after that, and it's just.
Yeah, and then like when in the mirror scene when they were actually going to show her parents, and then J.J. Abrams was like, wait, no, we don't know what to do yet. So then they just showed her, which shows.
Yeah, and that just confirms it too.
Yeah.
Like, it just confirms it. So it's crazy.
It is. It really is. So what news do you have for the for more exposure for the?
So, John Boyega did an interview for I forgot what it was called, but he basically did an interview, and he said that they knew what they were gonna do with Daisy Ridley, and they knew what they were gonna do with Adam Driver. So
yeah.
Rey and Kylo Ren, the two main characters. And then when it came to like Poe, Finn, Rose, they were all just introduced and then pushed to the side immediately. And he didn't think that was fair because they clickbaited John Boyega with him holding the lightsaber at the end of Force Awakens. And you know how he was Force sensitive in The Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, supposedly, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that if Finn hadn't been pushed to the side, we could have seen his character arc from him being a rogue stormtrooper to turning to the light side and then becoming Force sensitive. And I feel like that would have been like so cool.
Yeah, but like the only thing they really did with him and like Rose's character was when they traveled to get the flower dude, and then to get the plans for destroying the tracker for hyperdrive. So that kind of like that was like their only really main part, but like it still didn't really show any like big character arc in their characters.
Because when I saw The Force Awakens, I personally liked Finn. He was actually one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And then I was excited to see where they're going to go with his character. And then they just pushed him to the side in The Last Jedi. And he didn't really have that. That many like shining moments.
Yeah.
To where he could have actually been a good character, because in the original 6, George Lucas he had a plan for how he was going to do all of the movies. He did 4, 5, and 6, and then he knew what he was going to do for 1, 2, and 3, and he wrote the scripts in 3 parts. And then how Daisy really exposed it, they just went with the flow, and they wrote each, and then they just literally just went with the flow and decided what they wanted to do on set.
Yeah.
And that's just crazy. And then the thing that I don't like about it is that Poe, Poe.
Yeah, Poe Dameron. Yeah.
The Poe Dameron. I forgot his last name, but he was and then you know how Carrie Fisher died.
Yeah.
And then how I forgot her name, but it was the girl with the pink hair.
Oh, Mon Mothma, I think.
Yeah, I think who took over for Leia while she was
Yeah, Mon Mothma. She was the original leader of the rebellion, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, and that the relationship with her and Poe didn't really seem right to me because Poe didn't like her.
Yeah.
And he wanted to lead on his own. And then when it came time in the Rise of Skywalker to help everyone, what he did was he basically just listened to Lando. And, that was it. He didn't, to me, that was crazy because it's Lando was there to help, right? Because he was there at the end.
Yeah.
And what I didn't, and then basically Poe had his own plan, and then the pink-haired girl had her own plan. So then it caused a problem, and then at the end, and then that problem just went away right after the movie.
Yeah.
And it didn't really come into effect. So what I feel like they did was everything they did in each movie, all the problems they did in each movie, I feel like they rushed to finish it instead of making it an overlapping problem.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure they actually, George Lucas, I think he originally planned to have actually Kylo Ren turn to the light side and have, in Last Jedi, I think, and, him actually living, but then in The Rise of Skywalker, they weren't actually sure if, they would switch places, Kylo Ren turns to the light side, and then Rey turns to the dark side, as we can see, in the Palpatine, the evil Rey thing.
Yeah, and I also, and this just reminds me of something that when George Lucas basically sold Star Wars to Disney,
yeah,
Disney basically said that, because George Lucas had already plans for the sequels.
Yeah.
And he sold Star Wars to Disney because he felt like he was getting too old, and he didn't want to, die right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Which I think that's what I think he said. And basically, Disney said that we like your ideas, and we're going to use some of them. And George Lucas basically confirmed it in an interview that they didn't use any of the ideas he had in mind.
I mean, they may have used some of the characters.
Yeah,
but they didn't fully evolve the characters into what they were actually going to be.
Yeah, they didn't do it how George originally planned to do it, and Disney said that. Hold on. And Disney said that they basically were gonna do it, but then they didn't because they wanted to go their own direction, and then look what happened.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they did they did really bad on the sequels, but then all the other stuff The Mandalorian, and then now the Kenobi series, and then the Clone Wars Season 7, they're doing they actually did a good job on those because they were, they're directed by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and they're part of Disney, but they don't really have, they're kind of their own, because there's the Filoniverse. There's so much, it's, not really a part of Disney or Disney's plan, and then, yeah.
A lot of people are saying that Dave Filoni is, has talked to George Lucas and has some of the same ideas that he had, so he's bringing it to Disney.
Yeah.
So that he can hopefully make Star Wars better than it is.
Yeah, because, in that, the Mandalorian show where they do behind the scenes, Dave Filoni was saying that he basically did an interview with George Lucas before he was hired for the Clone Wars, and then George Lucas was like, yeah, you're the guy, and then he basically wanted him to direct the Clone Wars, and then George Lucas, he was like, I'm not going to be directing or like a part of the Clone Wars. And then like he ended up like coming to the set every day with Dave Filoni because he liked what they were doing so much.
Yeah, and that's what and I like that because he went to those, but he didn't go to any of the sequel premieres.
Yeah.
So you can definitely see a difference there.
Yeah.
So I want to get your opinion. So what's your opinion on the Rise of Skywalker?
So at first, so the trailer I didn't like the trailer at all. I thought it didn't show anything. And then during while I was watching it, I was like, yeah, this is kind of good. And then all these YouTube videos are it's saying it's bad. And then I realized yeah, she wasn't really a Skywalker, and because she was supposed to be a Palpatine, and she basically took the rightful name of a Skywalker.
She just stole it. Basically.
Yeah, she just stole it. And yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy. So the Rise of Skywalker it's to me it's meh. It's okay, and I feel like that's a good rating because I feel like the Rise of Skywalker is a good end for what we got after the Last Jedi. Because I didn't really like the Last Jedi.
Yeah, the Last Jedi was probably the worst out of
I didn't like that one, and for what we got, I felt like that it was a good ending for what we got.
Yeah,
what I wish they would have done better was that, and I think a lot of people will agree with me on this one, is that in the ending scene where Rey hears all the voices of the past Jedi.
Yeah.
Instead of them showing the stars, I feel like it would have been cooler if they showed the Force Ghost.
Yeah, Force Ghost. But then again, not all of the Jedi really learned how to become Force Ghost. Only Yoda. But then when Qui-Gon died, he learned to become a Force Ghost. So they still could have learned while dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, I still think they could have become Force Ghosts. Because there's edited videos of the Force Ghosts, but it would have been just so much better. And I hate how they just killed off Kylo Ren. That's just...
Yeah, I know. Because personally, because of what they did with Finn, Kylo Ren became my favorite character because he's just cool. And I didn't like how he was throwing all those temper tantrums in the Force Awakens. I just thought that was unnecessary.
Yeah, that he was... Yeah, I think Disney was trying to make him of a Sith Lord, but then Sith Lords are way more calmer than that, probably, and then they thought let's just cool it down a bit. So then and then they also wanted they probably didn't know. They were probably thinking of making Kylo Ren killing him off, but turning him to the light side. But they didn't really commit to that, but they kind of showed that in Last Jedi by cooling him off, I guess.
Yeah, and Disney didn't really commit to all the stuff that they wanted to do with Star Wars.
Yeah.
What I think happened. And I didn't really like how Rey just took the name of Skywalker. Personally, I don't think that they should have ended it off like that. Because they said the Rise of Skywalker, and I don't know why, but I think the reason why they called the last movie The Rise of Skywalker because Rey called herself a Skywalker. Because, well, maybe not, because Ben returned, and he was basically the last Skywalker.
Yeah, but then, so at the end where Ben Kenobi, he says, "These are your final steps, rise and take them." I think that was indicating the rise of Skywalker, So, and then she named herself Skywalker at the end. So then, I don't know. It could have been Ben Solo or Rey. Just who knows.
Yeah, could have been either one of them.
So I think that's it. Do you have any more things you want to talk about for the collab?
No, not really. It's just. I want to hear your rankings for all 9 movies.
9 movies. Okay, so my personal favorite. No, so we're going from least to best.
Least to best.
Okay, so are we counting the Clone Wars movie or just the Skywalker trilogy?
Just the Skywalker trilogy.
Okay, so the worst one I personally think is The Last Jedi, because that one was that's just
just all over the place. Basically,
it doesn't really make sense because it's like making a movie in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, because like just finding a base, but then it's just there's no point in the movie.
You can't really say many positives about it, to be
honest. And then for my next one, probably Force Awakens or Phantom Menace. Probably Phantom Menace and then Force Awakens. After that, I would probably have to say, I don't know, I'll probably have to say probably Attack of the Clones, because that one, I mean, it introduced the clones, but I mean, it didn't really do much. It was way too much CGI. Yeah, so, and then for my next one is probably Rise of Skywalker, and then I don't know, maybe Return of the Jedi, because I mean, it was good, but like it's not my favorite film, you know. So then next one is A New Hope, probably. No, Revenge of the Sith, A New Hope, and then Empire Strikes Back.
Alright. That looks pretty good. I agree with most of those.
Yeah. So, yep, that's the collab.
Yeah.
Okay, so see you later. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this collab, and see you in the next one.